Cyberbullying generally is accepted across the globe with certain general meanings, but from my perspective and what we are seeing in the Jamaican landscape, we could say that normally to an offense or something that has taken place on the within cyberspace. And when we're talking about cyberspace, we're talking about the internet or just using your digital device to normal communication. So it involves a computer like your smartphone, your tablets, your computer with a network, with a platform, some sort of medium to communicate. So persons will use this type of resources to do things that are mean, things that are not kind. We are accustomed to general bullying as someone who intimidates and threatens someone. But because it's in cyberspace, it's called cyberbullying. Free speech, it's your constitutional right for everyone in Jamaica and I guess globally. You have your right to speak freely, and of course, no one wants to take away that right. But when it becomes unlawful, there are laws in the land that governs certain content or certain speech that is restricted by law. Say, for example, bad words, as we'll call it in Jamaica, that's still on the books as an offense. So although there is free speech, at some point, the law will govern and tells you what you can say or what you can't say, maybe in specific areas, specific forums. But of course, we are in the digital age, and persons will put just about any type of content or speech on air, on the internet, wherever. And of course, because it's unregulated, that can happen. So free speech is your rights, regulated by law. But when it comes to cyberbullying, cyberbullying is looked at in a different sense. As I said, if it's used in a threatening manner or to intimidate anyone who so become a victim, then the law has to chip in to ensure that there's not a breach of the law, because we do have laws that protect citizens from that kind of activity. The Cybercrime Act of 2015 clearly stipulates in Provision 9, whereby using your computer for malicious communication, anything that is threatening, obscene, or menacing with an intent to harass or harm or the apprehension of harm, any person or property. So when it becomes illegal, of course, that is when you violate those principles and laws and provision. Then, of course, it becomes a breach of the act, and the necessary laws and penalties and punishment will have to be applied. With respect to cyberbullying and what we have seen, I would say most persons that are affected, either they don't know where to report, either they don't know if it's an offense, so they internalize this maybe, and of course it affects them negatively, and it doesn't come to the forefront of the reporting agencies like the police. There are various police stations right across the country, so you can enter anyone and make that report. It's prevalent among youngsters in school. Now we have seen a lot of schools have been impacted because youngsters use their mobile devices for various kinds of communication and say mean things about each other and post things that are derogative and so forth. One case we know, there is a youngster who's had an accident, and because of the accident, it caused some sort of deformity on the individual, and the other students, they thought it was funny, and it was not nice. They took photographs of their colleagues and they posted in a global space, and of course that affected the youngster negatively to the point where she lost her self-esteem, and of course it demoralized that person. And of course once it involves persons of a certain age group, especially schools, it so happened that they cannot be charged for an offense, but most times we have to go into the schools and give talks and encourage and let them know that this is not nice, it can become illegal, so desist. And of course that's the main thing we do. But in terms of numbers, it's not a lot that has been reported. We strongly believe that there is gross underreporting, as I said, either because people don't know where to go or people just internalize being affected by it. But we think that there are a lot more than we are seeing. Tune in next week to take advantage of a special presentation on social media and hacking.